Margaret Richards. I am the Director of Pro Bono Services for Hush Blackwell, which is a pretty large law firm, and I graduated from St. Mary in 2000.
I'm Macy Walker. I'm from Vega, Texas, and I'm majoring in exercise science and planning on going into PT.
I grew up in Billings, Montana. And for those who maybe don't know, the Sisters of Charity who founded St. Mary went on and founded schools and hospitals throughout the U.S. Or in different parts of the U.S., mostly western states, including Montana. So ultimately, it's kind of an interesting but long story as to how I actually ended up at St. Mary. But it was a school I had heard of. But what attracted me to St. Mary is easy. And it's not easy to describe, but it's certainly, I think, easy for me to talk about. And that's, it really felt like home. And that sounds silly. I had done a college tour with my mom. Many students do that, right? They go check out the colleges they're interested in. And it felt like home. It felt like a family. And that all sounds weird. I can't put a precise word to it other than sort of the feeling I got of belonging. That this was where I was meant to be. I got here and thought, yeah, this is the place for me.
So I'm from Vega, Texas. It's a very small town, a 2A high school that I have gone to. I went there from kindergarten through 12th grade. I wanted to play basketball in college, but didn't really have a whole lot of connections. So I used a recruiting app, and the former basketball coach found me on there. And when I signed, when I came and visited around Easter of 2019, it was like one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. I'm an athlete, so I've always been interested in working with other athletes, but I got injured in high school, and I had to go see my athletic trainer at my high school, and I just loved how he was able to engage with all the athletes and help them and get them back on the court and stuff like that. And his wife was actually a PT, and when I was talking to her, it felt like it was meant to, because I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was about senior in high school, and then I found St. Mary, and it just felt like it was perfect. The person that brought me on my tour was great. He also was majoring in PT. Made me feel really welcome, and I love the small feel of this campus, and it was the first place I visited and the only place I needed to.
So when I was looking at schools, I was looking for something that was larger than the high school I had come from. Being from a small school in Montana, I wanted more opportunities, more access to just a broader variety of classes and clubs and travel and, just the things that maybe a slightly larger school would bring with it, but not something I'd get lost in with a huge school. And so when I got to St. Mary, it was a good fit for that reason. It was still small, so I was able to still thrive in a community that was similar to what I was used to from back home, but also have more opportunities at my fingertips. I lived in both Maria and Berkman's, and so there was just a lot of time in the dorms together with friends and laughing and road trips for the basketball team, or you name it. There was just the memories that come to mind are the friendships.
As an individual, I've always been a very modest and introvert. I don't go out and party. I don't go do anything like that. So this has kind of helped me, especially having a team that I'm a part of. When I first came here, being 11 hours away from home, it makes it really easy for me to feel comfortable, because I already had a group that I knew I could know, that I would know and get to be around. And it also having the community here and having people that were real into what you wanted to help you achieve your goals really helped me. I just love the atmosphere in the community, and everybody here treats you like family, so I never felt like I was too far away from home. My experience with the basketball team has been amazing. I love the sport, obviously, but the coaches, the teammates, everything, it's just the atmosphere's amazing. And the gym is just feels like home to me. My coach has been amazing. He always is pushing me to do my best in school and on the court. He has helped me in every aspect of my life so far at St. Mary, and then my professors have been amazing. And I've had so many that I can't just pick one that has helped me. Every one of them cares and wants to make sure that you're okay, and even especially during the pandemic, I've had every professor ask me every day if I'm doing okay, and it's really helped, especially with what's going on right now, to make sure that everybody's mentally and physically okay.
So I think St. Mary shaped my life and my career in a couple different ways. One, I certainly got some of this from my family, but I think it was more enhanced when I got to St. Mary, and that was my exposure to the Sisters of Charity and sort of what their mission is, what their whole life dedication is, and that service to others, and really doing more for others around us, right? And so now, as being the director of pro bono services, granted it's taken some time for my career to get where it's at now, my whole job is connecting people with access to justice. Access to justice is a huge issue. There's a huge gap, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done to bridge that gap. And so I feel like having a position like mine, bringing together attorneys that want to help and agencies that need the help, and people who need lawyers to help them, that helps motivate me and makes me passionate. And I think that was really something that I picked up from my time at St. Mary that I knew I needed to carry forward.
My St. Mary experience has really lived up to what I expected it to. I love the small town feel of the campus. All the people are genuinely want to know how you're doing and want to make sure you're doing great, and all the professors are amazing. I've had a really good experience with all of them that I've had so far, and it's made my classes and my experience with everything a lot better. It made it difficult. The pandemic did. It made it real difficult for me to feel like I was engaged some days, but our professors did a really good job of making sure that having Zoom links that we could rewatch class and feel like if we were missing something because we were sick or had a sport that we had to miss class, we didn't feel like we were missing out. And we've also all the classes, it's made it easier for the athletes that are on campus to miss class and everything. But with the pandemic, the school's been great on figuring out how to work around all the problems that we've run into.
As a freshman at St. Mary, we were expected to do so many public service, community service hours, and I wanted something out of the ordinary. And so I thought, okay, well, what about prison ministry? I sort of had these stereotypes in my head about what prison was like. Certainly had never experienced it myself or had any family members in that situation, and so it was complete unknown to me, and that was what was so appealing about getting involved in this group. And so I got involved with this prison ministry group as a freshman at St. Mary and continued that all through the time that I was a student here, and continued that once I graduated. And here I've been out of school now 21 years, and it's still a group that's growing strong. We still go into the prison once a week and bring hope to somewhere where there isn't a whole lot of hope. And then I'm also part of a board a nonprofit board for an all-girls high school in rural Kenya that actually was the brainchild through a group that got together through connections through St. Mary. And so we formed this nonprofit to support this all-girls high school in rural Kenya, because many of these girls would not be able to get a high school education, but for having somebody that can help with their tuition or help the community get clean water, to getting access to healthcare. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we do for this particular school that we help support them from here in the U.S. And so those are the main two things that keep me busy. So the impact on student scholarships, I think, is so important, right? They provide access to a higher education that students might not have otherwise. And I'm a prime example of that. My parents were hardworking. They provided what they could. I worked all through high school because I knew that I was going to go to college, right? And I needed to figure out a way to get there. And so I did what we could, but certainly there was not enough financial resources to cover higher education. And so because of student scholarships, I was able to come to St. Mary. I was able to thrive and succeed here. And I think, while I was determined, it certainly was an opportunity that allowed me to succeed and get a degree from St. Mary.
So I received the Presidential Scholarship and the Spire Award, and those really mean a lot to me, especially with trying to pay for school. And I just felt real honored to especially receive the Presidential Scholarship. With how hard I work on my grades, it showed that it paid off. My next steps after I graduate with my bachelor's is to eventually, hope to come here for PT school. And then after I graduate from PT school, I don't really know where I'm going to end up. I would love to go back to the Texas Panhandle, but if I end up in this area, I would absolutely love it.
So I give back to St. Mary because I think I need to, I had mentioned this before, carry the torch, right? Somebody donated, alumni and others had given, which allowed me to come to St. Mary. And so by giving to St. Mary myself, I can continue that forward to students who are in similar shoes that just couldn't achieve college or higher education, but for other people's generosity. A big picture on my wall that says, if you see something that's not right, not fair, not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it. And that motivates me, and I feel like that's a lot of what the Sisters of Charity are about. It's a lot about what the ultimate mission of St. Mary and supporting its students and educating its students is about, and I feel like I get to carry that torch in what I do today.